Room on the table to my right. All of the exhibits pertaining to items on the agenda are posted on the bulletin board here in the chambers. Please feel free to view them at any time during tonight's meeting. You are required to fill out a blue form. My assistant, Ms. LaMagna, is holding the form up. You must complete the sections that ask for your name, topic of concern, agenda item number, signature, and date. The form must be completed prior to the item coming before the Community Redevelopment Agency. There is one additional opportunity for citizens to speak before the Community Redevelopment Agency Board. That is item number 7. All citizens completing a blue form will be allowed to speak for 2 minutes. When you approach the lectern, please speak clearly into the microphone and give your full name and address. The 2-minute clock will begin. You will be told when your time has expired. All conversation must take place either at the lectern or on the dais so that everyone can hear the business that's being discussed tonight. Thank you.
Mrs. Thomas, may we have a roll call at this time?
Commissioner Reed.
Here.
Commissioner Lentz. Commissioner Woods.
Here.
Commissioner White.
Here.
Commissioner Gilliland.
Here.
Commissioner Henry.
Here.
Mayor Derek Henry.
Here. We will now have the invocation led by Commissioner Henry, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Reed.
Heavenly Father, we come to you once again. We thank you for the city of Daytona Beach. We thank you for the city leaders. We ask that you give us guidance and understanding tonight as we go about the city business. In your precious Son, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will now move on to item number 4A, approval of the March 20th special regular CRA meeting minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Motion by Commissioner Gilliland, second by Commissioner Woods. Questions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval of the minutes, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed is the same sign. The motion carries 7-0. We will now move on to item number 5, agenda approval. If there are any changes, the city manager will read them at this time.
No changes, Mr. Mayor.
Motion to approve the agenda. Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Gilliland, a second by Commissioner Reed. Do we have any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed is the same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
We will now move on to our administrative items. Item 6A is the Friends of the Bandshell Summer Concert Series promotional activity expenditure of funds. A resolution accepting the Friends of the Bandshell, a resolution acknowledging receipt of the Friends of the Bandshell 2013 Event Promotion Business Plan, approving a grant of tax increment funds from the Main Street Redevelopment Area Trust Fund in an amount up to $30,000 for promotional activities as set forth in the plan and providing an effective date.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any conversation from anyone?
I do have several speakers. Our first speaker is John Nicholson, and on deck is Dino Paspalakis.
John Nicholson, 413 North Grandview Avenue. Several years ago, we spoke about handing out money from the trust fund. We were speaking about giving them money to start up and then diminish it from that point on. So over the course of 3 or 4 years, then we wouldn't be giving them any money. At $500 less than last year, to end this, it's 60 years. 60 years is a long time to be off the public dole. I'm asking you to take a look at this again and see if there's some way you can prod them into getting more money from the Hilton, the new people that are coming on board, Joe's Crab Shack. There are other people that they can get some money from rather than the CRA. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Dino Paspalakis.
You go talk, Tina. She'll hand them out, okay?
Okay, Dino Pasqualakis, 565 Riverside Drive. I'm here representing the Friends of the Band Shell. The gentleman that just spoke before me, John Nicholson, was here a year ago, basically saying before this board that if you had to hire a committee to do what we do, that committee itself would be over $100,000 worth of salaries and what have you. I know that the Friends of the Band Shell, many of them are here right here. This is like almost a full-time job for many of us doing what we do. Now, as far as the contribution level, the Ocean Walk Shops give $20,000, Boardwalk Merchants $20,000, the Hilton $15,000, Joe's Crab Shack $10,000, Daytona Beverages $10,000. We're doing our best, to try to raise money to fund this. The expenditures that are associated with this, each fireworks costs $4,100. The 4th of July costs $15,000. The city had asked that we bump up the quality of the bands, and if you could put the video link, even though that I have, there's if you pick any of the bands that you want to see, you'll see the quality of some of these tribute bands that we have, everything from the Beatles tribute to Eagles tribute. And just for a point of note, the city of Ormond Beach has $75,000 budgeted for the 4th of July. We are doing the 4th of July fireworks display for the city of Daytona Beach. $75,000 budget for the city of Ormond is for a one-night event. We're doing 16 fireworks and 16 concerts for the city of Daytona. We're asking for a lot less than what the city of Ormond has budgeted for one night. We're asking for basically a cash contribution here of $12,000. But if there's any video, if you guys would like to see any of the, just to see a sample, pick one from the Beatles tribute to Foreigner, to whatever you'd like, and then all you have to do, okay, that's the Foreigner tribute band, and if you put some volume behind it, you'll hear the quality of the music that they have. I can't hear it though. You won't be able to? Okay. Well, then that defeats the purpose of that. Okay. But anyways, you could go onto our website, bandshow.info, and see anyone that you want to see. But the quality has been beefed up greatly. We took the best from last year, put them in the month of June, and then we filled up July and August with the tribute band show. But I'm here to answer any questions that you might have.
No questions?
No.
Well, I will say that I was down on the band shell on Memorial Day, and you guys have a new. I was on the band shell on Memorial Day, and you guys renamed that event. You want to tell us about that by chance?
Yeah, obviously Bud Asher, he's passing away of cancer, and on Memorial Day he was very instrumental into making a lot of what happened happen. And so we wanted to honor him with dedicating the Memorial Day weekend, for Bud Asher. And he wanted to be here tonight to speak, but his condition's not allowing him to be here.
Yeah, they've renamed that event in his honor, and you talk about working on behalf of the city and trying to improve the quality of life of Daytona Beach. In his condition and with what he's going through speaks volumes, and it speaks volumes for everyone who's associated with it. And I want to thank all of you who volunteer. It was a first-rate presentation. I and my wife, we thoroughly enjoyed the evening, and we're looking forward to all of what you bring to the city.
And we appreciate you being there to honor him and everybody else.
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, I just want to thank all of the Friends of the Band Shell and all the hard work they do. It is tremendous amount of time and effort. And actually, when we started this, we really didn't have the same partnership that we have today with all of the people who have vested interest in that area. And it's really a tribute to really Dino and the Friends of the Band Shell. They've really
Thank
done a
you.
great job.
And by the way, just a point of note, I just want to tell you that in addition to what we done last year, we also went before the Halifax Advertising Authority, and we have them. Right now, you will find, and this is the first time in history that Orlando has a billboard that's paid for by the Halifax Advertising Authority, which to me that's ironic. But anyways, but we have a digital billboard right across from the Millennium Mall that's basically going to tells people about our event. And it says bandshow.info, and it also is a Seize the Daytona campaign also, but it's a $10,000 cost attributed to that they're paying for.
Good work.
Thanks, Dino.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed is the same sign. The motion carries 7-0.
Moving on to item 6B, it is the Central Florida Community and Economic Development, LLC, CFCED Loan Agreement Modification Resolution, a resolution approving the promissory note and redevelopment loan modification agreement with Central Florida Community and Economic Development, LLC, for a redevelopment of property located at 456 through 458 South Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard within the Midtown redevelopment area, authorizing the chair and city clerk to execute the agreement and providing an effective date.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Woods, a second by Commissioner Gilliland. Do we have any?
I do have one speaker,
Yes.
John Nicholson.
John Nicholson, 413 North Grandview Avenue. If I'm not mistaken, they asked for a rather large sum of money from the Midtown CRA. Are we also going to allow the other CRAs that amount of money, and if they get into trouble, we give them a year and a half free rent? All right? This sets a precedent. I understand they're having a hard time. There are some outstanding problems, but we should deal with those, mention them, so that when it comes up in the future and somebody else is having a problem on Beach Street because of Orange Avenue coming in or whatever, that this sets a precedent that all the CRAs get this benefit. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is our only speaker, Mr. Mayor.
Do we have any commentary from the commission?
I think I have some questions for Reed, if that's all right. Can you tell me what the infusion of the $51,000 in March of 2011 was for?
There were some additional costs that were incurred as a part of the project and wrapping up that project. So they came back and requested some assistance with that additional amount to close up their project for the sandwich shop.
Okay. And between that time and now, there's an amount of $250,000 that's been forgiven, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Can you give us an idea of what's gone wrong with perhaps the business plan, or what is it? Obviously, you have a business plan that has an expectation of a certain amount of income, and you do your business accordingly. What happened?
I can't speak to any of the details. If I know they were having some difficulty getting someone here. Do we have anyone from the organization here? No? Okay. So unfortunately, I don't have anybody here to speak to their financial difficulties, but I think you can infer, and in the letter, that they're trying to get a project up and running now to get their cash flow corrected that will help them. They're involved in a Chodo project up the street, and where they're getting rental income, and some of that plays into their overall organization. But as an organization, I think they've had some difficulties, and I don't have the details.
Okay, Mr. Manager.
That's right. This is those who were around at the time we approved this. This was a startup really for that area, that business area. There's no real business activity other than some historical problem areas there. And this was a chance to try to revive the area and bring it around. I think all of us, in fact, the initial commitment to forgive a portion of this is based on the realization that it's not going to be an easy task to make it work, but it's worth the investment on the part of the city to try to give some incentive for somebody to make additional investment in the area. So this whole area is this whole project is to try to instill really some community participation by other properties in the area as well, and I think it's doing exactly what we thought it would do.
And we did actually write that into the redevelopment plan for this project, so that there was a lot of input in terms of amending the redevelopment plan as well.
You know, and I go by there every day, you know, and on the way home because I'm at Tree T Small, and I know they struggle, and I always hope to see, you know, business going on and things happening. But again, if you look at the neighborhood around there, I mean, it was one of those risks that we took, hoping to spur further change and be a catalyst, and I mean, it hasn't happened. And just even having people to get them to go in there and go to either the ice cream shop or the cafe, I think it's tough. It's tough.
I've taken residents there for dinner and lunch, and it's a struggle. Mm-hmm. And there, I wish someone were here this evening to express that, but I've seen the struggle firsthand. But it's a beautiful facility, and it's a positive effort on behalf of the city to try to stimulate business in that area.
Let me chime in here. The facility is nice, but somebody did build a nice apartment complex right down from it. So that's starting to people coming in to start to invest some money in the community. And that was a real blighted area before this building was put up. So I'm what Jim is saying is that, you know, I think the city went in knowing that this may not pay off in the beginning, but it will spur other additional investments. And I've seen that if you look up and down the street, there are some new buildings starting to come up, and people are thinking and talking about coming in that area to do business.
Okay.
And if I might interject, I think we have to realize that Midtown is different from the rest of our city, and that perhaps we need to look at some other means in which we can bring some businesses to Midtown to continue to generate that business growth. Because he has a beautiful facility there. And if that's going to be the starting point, then how can we build upon that?
Okay.
I couldn't agree more, but I do want to add that a $300,000 loan is nothing to be taken lightly, especially when the funding and the Midtown CRA is somewhat insufficient, and it's been a major complaint in the community about that particular CRA. It's a $300,000 loan. There should be somebody from the organization here to tell us what went wrong, why the income isn't there to ask for 18 months forgiveness on unpaid debt, and you know, I think it'll pass. I think that we all have the same goal in revitalizing that particular area and all of the areas of blight in the CRAs. But it needs to be known that this is not to be taken lightly. We are refinancing a $300,000 loan, and there should be somebody here to acknowledge that.
Yeah, I think somebody should be here to acknowledge also. But
Well, with that said, we do have options as it relates.
Well, I have a
to
question. I mean, can we not vote on it
Yeah.
tonight and continue it till they come back and give us a report and an update of what they intend to do? That would be what I'd like to do since nobody's here.
That would be my suggestion. That's why I asked if you have another option. So how do we?
I made the motion. I amend my motion that we continue this and not take a vote this evening until a representative is at a CRA meeting to do a report.
And I'll amend my second.
It'll be time certain.
Continue it to a date certain.
Okay.
And
Wait, you want me to pick the next meet? What do you want?
The 19th.
Okay, to June 19th.
Okay.
So,
And I amend my second. Was there another second on that one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't remember. Okay. All right. Well, we have a motion and a second. Before we vote, do we have any other questions? No further questions.
What do you recommend? I mean, what's your recommendation on this? Just so we
Yeah.
I think, you know, you can look at the other options you have. I think the best option is to give them the extension, and I think, again, I'm hearing that they're improving. The details I can't tell you, they can tell you, but
Yeah.
they're stabilizing.
Well, with that said, it's not as though we don't. I think the commission probably will give an extension if my feeling is correct. But it is courteous to have a conversation about it and see, you know, if there are other things. And it's one way to promote the business. May not be the best publicity, but folks need to know. It's a beautiful building with great food, and I don't mind saying that. Okay. All right. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Lights not opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Moving on to item 7, it is our citizen comments. I do have 2 speakers. Our first speaker is Hemis Ivy, and on deck is John Nicholson.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Honorable Mayor and the CRA and Commission. Glad y'all were talking about Midtown. As y'all know, I am very compassionate about Midtown. But as a consultant and a developer, I still see the roadblocks remaining in the Midtown community. It is apparent to me that we just cannot move our community forward without the help of the city or the CRA. I brought to the table with staff the second largest developer in the United States, which is Jones, Langer, and Sal. And I'm asking this commission and the CRA to make sure that we do everything that we possibly can to accommodate this developer to come in and help Midtown. This particular developer not only is able to develop it, but they're also able to bring in the financing and give us a creative package to help move Midtown forward. So I'm asking this CRA that we stay on top of this particular developer. I myself have came in and brought smaller developers that we finally are getting through the system and getting ready to go into the permitting phase. However, it disturbs me when I sit back and watch the planning board meeting and development on the corner of Bellevue and Ridgewood can have waivers from the LDC, but anybody in Midtown, basically, as a small developer, we have to go through the complete process. And I just don't think that's fair. If you're going to make an adjustment for a developer in another part of the city, make it an adjustment where it's needed more in the Midtown area, because we don't have water. But I'm glad to see that the beach side is growing. I'm glad to see that the Speedway is growing. I'm glad to see that downtown is growing. But we can grow Midtown if we look at making different changes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Our next speaker is John Nicholson, and on deck is Marjorie Johnson.
John Nicholson, 413 North Grandview Avenue. Last City Commission meeting, I brought up the fact that we need to do something about beachside before the 2 hotels are built. What I'm saying is that the peeling paint that we've supposedly fixed the last time on the boardwalk, that is now peeling even worse than before, you can't have that there when you put a $150 million building on the end of the boardwalk. Those people that are coming in will be seeing Daytona Beach for the first time. You cannot make a good first appearance a second time. When they see what they see is what they see. If we don't clean the boardwalk, fix A1A, paint, repair. I asked something simple 4 months ago. The cones leading to Joe's Crab Shack were ugly and dirty. All you had to do was switch them out. And staff was really good about putting 1 clean cone in one location and 2 clean cones in the other location, leaving 6 ugly, dirty cones still there. That's not cleaning up the area. I asked you to repair that retaining wall in front of the Hilton. Hilton is our best hotel on the beachside right now. It should be in the best repair. All we needed to go in was glue it back in. Well, in the intervening 9 months, somebody came along and dropped the thing, and now it's shattered. So you're going to have an odd corner right there. You're not putting your best foot forward. We have to clean up that. It's only a mile long. We have 5 crews. We have plenty of people to clean it, yet they're not organized. We have plenty of money to paint and repair, but yet we're not doing it. That Breakers Park, those showers leave mud all over the place. And you're doing So since the very beginning, we need to take the time to make that as attractive as possible before these two projects go in. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Marjorie Johnson is our final speaker, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening, Mayor, City Commissioners. Marjorie Johnson, 122 South Keith Street. Midtown, our area, has been neglected for many, many years. The city is spending millions and millions of dollars in other areas across the river. They have gone into the CRA fund and took out money to buy police cars. When they had the audit, the city manager was reminded that they shouldn't be taking money out of the CRA that was designated for our area to go for police cars and other things. That's why we are blighted. That's why we are in the condition we're in. We have been neglected and overlooked. And you're not investing in our communities like you are in others' communities. I've asked you to pay Martin Luther King. Oh, and then someone said someone's attacking. Well, guess what? We are being attacked every day and harassed by your police officer here. When you come in City Hall to get out, they only tell certain people to get out and they don't tell others. So this racism is very prevalent. I was president of the NAACP when you left all the blacks out of the torchbearers, and the judge told you, a federal judge, don't do it because it's wrong. You can't have one set of rules for one people and one for another. Still going on. It's getting worse every day. Midtown has been neglected. We need to bring developers in here. The money that you spent out by the speedway to redevelop all that, the pier, you was told it was going to be a couple of million. It ended up $10 million. $10 million of our taxpayers' dollars. You're talking about the Hard Rock Cafe. I'm glad you're bringing it in here. You got the museum. We need some more money invested in Midtown because we have been neglected for many years. You need to come over there and develop it. Stop making excuses. Make it happen. Just like you invested in the Museum of Arts and Science, the Speedway, the Pier, Joe. Invest in our communities. We are taxpayers.
That is our final speaker, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, do we have any commentary from the commission?
I just have one comment. And I don't know how everybody else feels about this, but the screen we put up that talks about, the public speakers, the opinion, their opinion, we can't validate the facts and whatnot. I think that needs to be up the entire time that there is public speaking. We had 5 people out of 6 either present opinion and make it sound like it was the city's opinion, or their information was not accurate. So I think it's important that the people that are watching this on TV know that it really is just open mic night, that they can say whatever they want, that it doesn't reflect the views of this commission or the city of Daytona Beach or its employees, that it's the individual, and also that we don't know the facts of what they're saying, haven't been vetted or confirmed, validated by us as they're saying these things on television. So I just think that I spent a lot of time after meetings correcting things that have been stated that really are just not accurate at all. So that's my personal opinion, but I think that's something worth doing.
Okay. Okay. All right. No comment from the other members. I'm going to. We have a regularly scheduled meeting that will take place after I adjourn this meeting, and we will start in about 3 minutes. So, if you will, this meeting is adjourned.